Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to all the witnesses for being here today and for your long and patriotic service to our country. What you said this morning and what we have heard at previous hearings worries me deeply, and as I know it does my colleagues and you, of course, as well. There are very serious threats to our national security in the path we are on. In terms of the cuts that we are talking about and future cuts that might come, we are putting our country in a very dangerous position in the world, not only in protecting this nation, but in protecting and standing up with our allies and abiding by our treaty obligations. General Spencer, I would like to direct a question to you. It's an issue that I am very concerned about, and I think it seriously threatens our readiness. As you know, General, last year Congress approved the National Defense Authorization Act, and in there was a provision that said the A-10 Thunderbolt would not be divested, or you wouldn't take action to divest it during calendar year 2014. It specifically said no preparatory actions for future divestment within calendar year 2014. And it's been since reported, General, that the Air Force may not have allotted any flight hours for the A-10 weapons school, may have canceled A-10 modernization, and ended the normal sustainment process for FY 2015, which begins October 1st. This, in my opinion, General, would clearly demonstrate a complete disregard for congressional intent within the NDAA. General, how and when will the Air Force rectify this violation and ensure that the A-10 continues to fly as we said it should? Congress intended that the Air Force would keep the A-10 flying, not only because it's an important aircraft, but also because it's critical to the defense and protection and support of our troops on the ground. Recently returned from Afghanistan, where I heard that story over and over again, how important it is to their protection. So, General, please tell me, when will we see this violation rectified?
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the question, Congressman. First of all, we are not going to violate the law, and the airplane is funded through FY 14. So I'm not sure where those reports came from, but we understand the NDAA. The flying hours are there for the airplane, so we're not going to violate the law. In terms of funding, if you allow me, based on the second part of your question, you won't find anybody in the Army or the Air Force say the A-10 is not a good airplane. It is a good airplane, but it is an airplane. It's not a mission. We're talking about a mission here, which is CAS, and we have, as you've heard before, we have multiple aircraft that can perform that mission. So we're not walking away from the mission at all. Again, as you've heard, when we lose $8 to $10 billion a year, we have to stop doing something. We have to cut something. And so, as I mentioned before, we looked at across our entire portfolio. We bounced all of our weapon systems against the COCOM demands and the war plans and the campaign plans that we have. And we took risk across every area, not just in CAS, but we took risk in every area. We've got, I heard someone once say that close air support is a game changer. I think it is, but we have a lot of game changers. Air superiority is a game changer, so no one can drop bombs on our folks. Command and control is a game changer. ISR is a game changer. So if we had the money, we wouldn't have cut the A-10. But again, we try to focus on the mission, not necessarily the platform.
I do want to speak to that issue momentarily, but I would like to ask you, General, to look into these allegations and these reports that the Air Force is in violation of our provision in the NDAA, and let us have an answer in writing as soon as possible.
Yes, sir.
Let me then follow up on what you were saying actually a moment ago. Senator Graham recently asked General Welch if the Air Force would keep flying the A-10 if Congress could find the money to sustain the mission over the next 5 years. And I'd like to pose the same question to you, sir. If we found the money, would the Air Force keep flying the A-10 if the money was not an issue?
Well, if money wasn't an issue overall, of course we would. But if you're asking me that if you gave us money back, is the A-10 our first priority? The answer is no. I mean, as an example, we're having to reduce our AWACS fleet by 7 airplanes just to take the money to upgrade the remaining airplanes. That would be a higher priority than the A-10. But if you're saying Congress gave us the money and said fund the A-10, of course we would.
My time is up, but I just want to leave you with one question for the record, sir, and that is, could you get us the analysis that led you to the decision that the A-10 should be divested, the monetary analysis and the combat mission analysis?
Yes, sir,
Thank you
absolutely.
for your time, sir.